Hey listeners, it's Jill. Did you enjoy our episode with author Todd C. Elliott as much as we did? Are you itching to get your hand on a copy of his latest ghostly novel, The Lower Line? Well, now you can. Leave us an iTunes review and we'll pick one lucky reviewer to win their very own copy. To learn more about where you can get yours, visit our website at thefire.com. Now, enjoy the show.
You're listening to the Screaming Pods Network.
Yeah, so some of these Instagram hashtags are absolutely ridiculous. Like, I'm going to upload a picture of my dinner, so I'm searching all of the food hashtags.
Okay.
So I type in like FO, and all my usual ones come up like foodie, food photography, food porn on the occasion. And then I like scroll down and there's like foot fetish nation.
Oh.
Is that really a thing? Like, do people really...
Foot fetish nation?
Do people really post pictures with that hashtag?
I wonder what their recommendations are based off of. Is it past history?
I don't know. I don't want to look. I'm too afraid to look.
Is it because you've looked at Foot Fetish Nation before?
No, I literally just...
I'll take your word for it. I bet the algorithm is so smart you used food porn. Porn and foot fetish are related, right? Maybe that's a stretch. Maybe they're not that smart over there at Instagram. Owned by Facebook.
I don't even know how to respond.
I mean, dude, the internet is a strange and horrible place. Beautiful in some ways, you know. It depends what you're looking at, I suppose.
I guess
or
beautiful
looking
feet.
for.
Beautiful feet.
Right. Foot Fetish Nation, hashtag. Well, not to, I guess, steer too far, of course. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. My name is Ben.
And I'm Jill.
We wanted to do a real quick minisode before our little spring break here. This one is, speaking of the internet, all about the creepy audiophiles you can find sitting out there. You ever like go down like a deep, like, I don't know, rabbit hole on the internet or on YouTube or something?
Oh, all day. All day, every day.
So, like everybody loves to do, we're just sort of going to binge through these creepy clips I found. The first, I don't know how many people know about these. Everything I found, all the information, all the documentation was written in the 90s, but it concerns these things called number stations. And what they are, some people have tracked them down. They're these, I think, shortwave radio transmissions. You can pick them up on certain like AM radio frequencies, and what they are allegedly are just these radio stations transmitting some signal on a loop, allegedly sending some message to some unknown recipient. Most of these, nobody knows who owns them. I guess there was a team investigating one. They found it to be of Russian origin, and the signal stopped. It changed and went somewhere else. So you can just tune into these things on a radio, and one, I guess, person or a group of people decided to do just that and recorded what they heard. And let's check some of them out.
So I actually haven't heard any of these files yet. So I'm not exactly sure what to expect.
Yeah, you haven't condoned any of this.
And Ben can find some pretty freaky things online. So
I spent way more time than I should have looking for these things. Don't
blame me if you're scarred for life, because I don't know what he's sharing with us tonight.
This first, I guess, recording is been called The Buzzer. I'm going to read a description out of the documentation. It can be heard in the UK on 4625 kilohertz after dark, buzzing relentlessly. Just before the top of every hour, the signal changes, as in this example. The buzzer has been on the air since at least 1987. The station is not International Telecommunication Union registered and has no call sign.
Do I hear, like, voices?
It sounds like equipment or something.
Sounds like the world's most annoying alarm clock. So, what are your theories?
I don't know. Nobody seems to really know where this thing comes from.
What could the worst possible outcome for this, I guess, programming be? Like who does this? Who puts this out?
So there are a lot of theories. Some people think it could be governments doing this to communicate with spies or secret agents. They're mostly like conspiracy theories and speculation. I mean, they could really be anything. But like throughout all the documentation, they have like photos of embassies all over the world, and then their shortwave radio antennas, sitting on top of them.
Yeah, that seems pretty solid.
All right, so this next one is called the Swedish Rhapsody. It's a station that operates on a rigid and complicated schedule in both voice and Morse modes. It does not operate on Fridays. The operating agency is unknown.
I feel like there's like a scary little robot man talking. Whoa. It's either the Death Circus or the Ice Cream Man, which could take you to the Death Circus. This does not sound good. I feel like Jigsaw should be riding in this room right now on his little trike.
She's speaking German.
What is she saying?
She's reading numbers. That's why they call them number stations. People think the tone, so it's mostly static, I think, on these channels. But then all of a sudden, these buzzes come in. And then usually a song, this case, I think it's a glockenspiel, playing some tone, some melody on a loop. It looks like 3 times. And I don't know if she's reading the same message. I'm looking at the waveform. It looks like it's a different message the second time. Here she comes again. Some people speculate it's a child.
I was gonna say, it kind of sounds like a pre-programmed doll. Like, I love you, Mommy.
Oh, this is a fun one called the phonetic alphabet. I guess it's labeled NATO. Maybe it's a NATO transmission. The only description of it is unusual message string.
Mike, India, Whiskey, 1, 4, Delta, 3, 7, Delta, 3, 8, Delta.
And last but not least, this one's probably my favorite. It's called the Backwards Music Station. I guess there are 2 examples in this clip, and allegedly still on the air.
This is giving me a migraine.
I kind of like it.
What, you think it's soothing? It kind of sounds like an angry chinchilla.
Sounds like one of those white noise machines.
No, definitely does not sound like a white noise machine.
So what'd you think of number stations?
I really don't know what to think about number stations.
I mean...
Some of those were pretty disturbing.
Extremely.
Yeah, and I just can't put my finger on the person that would be so motivated to keep this charade up, or I don't know.
It's not a charade. If these, I guess, enthusiasts, there are enthusiasts in this sort of thing, are to be believed, it's really, governments conducting their shadow operations, quote unquote.
Well, then I think we need...
Because that stuff goes on.
Yeah.
You have to
I acknowledge that.
And, I mean, this is just one way to... Because you can't figure out where these are coming from. People don't know. All right, next up, do you know Art Bell?
Yeah, who doesn't know Art Bell?
His name was in the news recently. Sadly, yes, he recently passed. But he used to host Coast to Coast, radio talk show discussing all things pretty much weird and paranormal, right? He had a lot of people call into the show and, talk about their experiences or whatever, experts, what have you. Anyway, this was one remarkable caller. The title of the clip is just The Frantic Caller. Anybody who, I guess, knows Art Bell probably has heard this already. I'll just let the tape, I guess... The tape. Yeah, if you didn't know, I'm 75 years old.
Yes, you are.
We'll let the audio speak for itself. Here's the Frantic Caller.
Line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Art.
Yes.
Hi. I don't have a whole lot of time.
Well, look. Let's begin by finding out whether you're using this line properly or not.
Area 51.
Yeah, that's right. Were you an employee or are you now?
A former employee.
Former employee.
I was let go on a medical discharge about a week ago, and I've kind of been running across the country. Oh man, I don't know where to start. They're gonna they'll triangulate on this position really, really soon.
So you can't spend a lot of time on the phone. So give us something quick.
Okay. Okay. What we're thinking of as aliens, Art, they're extra-dimensional beings that an earlier precursor of the space program made contact with. They are not what they claim to be. They have infiltrated a lot of aspects of the military establishment, particularly the Area 51. The disasters that are coming, the military, I'm sorry, the government knows about them, and there's a lot of safe areas in this world that they could begin moving the population to now, Art.
But they're not doing anything.
They are not. They want the major population centers wiped out so that the few that are left will be more easily controllable.
Discharge.
And they lost contact with him.
I started getting...
His line is starting to go out. Now it's gone completely. And what you're hearing now is the entire radio station has gone off the air. Unknown to him at the time, and the producers, everything was cut for some reason. This is the backup equipment kicking on and the music playing. You know how on like TV when the network used to go out, you'd get like some weird picture or like those colored bars and it'd like beep at you for a minute. This is kind of the radio equivalent of that. You keep a tape and you play that before you go off the air. So they're currently scrambling.
In some way, something knocked us off the air and we're on a backup system now.
It's the government or...
This is another caller.
I don't know.
It has to be something, though.
Well, did you hear... Now, you tell me because you were listening.
That was awful strange.
That was genuinely upsetting to listen to.
Yeah.
Either he's a very talented actor, or...
That's one of the theories. Some people say that his ums are very, like, dramatically placed, almost planned. Frantic for sure, but... I mean, is it real? I don't know.
Well, and
He
then,
definitely called Art Bell. Like, I'm not disputing that. Happened in, I guess, 97.
But what about the radio station going down?
Kind of peculiar.
I know. So
That's the most fascinating part, I think.
yeah, but if it was with if it in fact was an actor, you don't think that the program would have been involved in a stunt like that?
I guess I don't know, like, Art Bell's background that well, but he seems like...
He seems pretty credible.
Right.
Okay. Because I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. And maybe, I don't know, yeah, it could be some sort of Orson Welles' War of the Worlds sort of scenario.
What's
let's
on deck,
Let's
Ben?
talk about something a little more concrete here.
All right.
This is a recording from a little organization known as NOAA. A lot of people know them more by the acronym, but they're the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. So they began a sound surveillance system on their Pacific Marine Environmental Laboratory. They abbreviate it PMEL. They started doing that in August of 1991. So when they started this program, they picked up this sound. They call it the upsweep. So they describe it as a long train of narrow band upsweeping sounds, each lasting several seconds in duration. The source level is high enough to be recorded throughout the Pacific Ocean. It appears to be seasonal, generally reaching peaks in the spring and fall, but it is unclear whether this is due to changes in the source or seasonal changes in the environment. The source can be roughly located at 54 degrees south and 140 degrees west, near a location of inferred volcanic seismic activity, but the origin of the sound is unresolved. That means they ain't got a clue. The overall source level has been declining since 1991, but the sounds can still be detected on NOAA's equatorial autonomous hydrophone arrays. That means they're still picking it up. Here it is sped up 20 times faster than it's actually heard. It's such a low frequency that human hearing can't pick it up, but their equipment detects it. Here's what it sounds like. Waiting for the bass to drop.
It sounds like the ocean's having a party. Or something. Ooh.
Interesting, right?
It is. But, I mean, why wouldn't you strongly believe that it had something to do with the location of the source? Didn't you say that it's around volcanic activity?
Inferred volcanic activity, yes. But there are plenty of places around the Earth with known and inferred volcanic activity where they are doing these recordings and are not detecting this sound. They pinpointed it with GPS coordinates. They know where it's coming from, they just don't know why it's coming from there.
It's probably the Loch Ness Monster.
Who knows? They did say it is seasonal. So this last clip is semi-recent. The event occurred in October of last year, 2017. Pretty much what we have to share is a recording of some air traffic controllers monitoring the region of Northern California and Oregon. We'll have to listen to it. So this object shows up on radar, and these two air traffic controllers are talking about it, and then they begin getting calls from pilots. Then the thing goes off radar, but the pilots are still seeing it.
Oakland 31, Seattle 13, APREC.
Oakland 31.
APREC November 155 Sierra Lima, level 43, so wrong way.
That's pretty big. Do you know on that target south of the boundary there, that 0027 code moving very fast at 37,000?
Oh, look at that thing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Huh. And you don't have anything on him, huh?
I got nothing.
Well, we'll look.
WestJet 1698.
No, the WestJet 1698 is about, he is at 370, and that dude is, 150 miles to the north of him. I'll flash to that dad block. There you go. There's where WestJet is.
Okay, I see him up there. That's crazy. That's fascinating.
Yeah, all right, I'll report that.
Thanks, Senator.
Okay.
Oakland 31 or 36.
Limit.
This is Sector 36. We had a target come through our airspace going really fast at level 370 earlier, an intruder, mode C intruder, going southbound, and then now apparently the Southwest 4712 sees an aircraft off his right side about at 1 o'clock and 10 miles going northbound at 370. We don't have anything on radar anymore or anything like that.
Okay. Yeah, it's from my primary zone. I don't
And we don't see any primaries or
see
anything either.
But I will. Okay. Yeah.
Just to let you know, and
of it.
our supervisors are calling all the appropriate people. So.
And does he have any idea what kind of aircraft it is?
No, we've asked him,
Okay.
and he doesn't. He said it's about his 1 to 2 o'clock and 10 miles off his right side now. So.
Okay, thanks.
Maybe.
Southwest 4712, Seattle.
Center, good evening, Southwest 4712, flight level 380, and we're watching that unknown aircraft at 1 o'clock.
Southwest 4712, Seattle Center, Roger, and can you estimate the altitude, please?
Best estimate is 370.
Thank you, sir. Southwest 4712, are you just visual, or is there any TCAS indication?
No negative tickets, it's just a visual.
Roger, just keep me advised.
Roger that.
So they end up scrambling fighter jets to go find this thing. A bunch of pilots saw it. The thing isn't on radar. It's not responding. It, I guess, has no call sign. So people really don't know what it is or where. There's some speculation that it was a military test plane. But it would be extremely unprofessional to get, spotted on radar while you're testing some secret aircraft, even spotted by other commercial pilots. No one really knows. Well, that wraps it up. I hope you weren't creeped out too much. There was a lot of shocking audio out there, but I don't want to play any of the gory, shocking stuff. It's good every once in a while, but I didn't want to turn this episode into that.
But if you have your own shocking audio that you want to share with us and be featured on a future episode, send us an email, admin@atthefire.com. Thank you again for joining us for this minisode before we take a brief spring break. We'll be back. We have awesome interviews lined up, and we will have new episodes for your listening pleasure. We would like to say a special congratulations to a superfan, Corinne, who was on and shared a story with us. She's getting married to a very wonderful man, Josh. So congratulations, Corinne and Josh, on your wedding this weekend.
Yeah, congratulations, you two. We're looking forward to some scary stories from the honeymoon.
As always, I'm Jill.
And my name is Ben.
We'll see you next time at the fire.
You're listening to the Screaming Pods Network.